On abortion, I believe life is sacred and that we should start at the family level, talking to our children as they grow, giving them life-saving education so that they do not get to that position where we have to lose lives. But I also recognize our Constitution clearly provides that abortion is prohibited, and I was one of those who agreed to put that clause there because the church had asked that this time around it be in the Constitution. But there are exceptional circumstances. Doctors faced with the possibility of losing both the mother and child. They are authorized by law to save the mother's life. On same-sex marriage, I believe in marriage between man and woman, adults, and that's the same thing that is in the Constitution. But I also believe in non-discrimination, knowing that as a society we face so many problems. We need to talk to our children, raise our children in the proper way. But I always wonder if, as a mother, your child or grandchild came and told you they were gay, would you throw them out of the house? We therefore need, in society, just like we do to other people who deviate, who even commit crimes, to find a way of bringing everybody to the fold so that we do not discriminate on one area. But the Constitution is clear, marriage is only between man and woman. And family planning is necessary so that every family can have the number of children they are capable of raising. And family planning has many facets. I call it life-saving education, so that each individual then chooses which method. If we don't do that as society, and we have not been able to pick all our street kids, either as the government or as the civil society, of which the church is the largest civil society, we need family planning.
Let me start by saying I am pro-life. And I battled with Section 26(4) before I supported the Constitution on my own. And I was satisfied that it does not allow abortion unless under exceptional circumstances. So I don't support abortion. As I said, I am pro-life. And two, I am a believer of a sustainable development and sustainable economy. And therefore, I believe in supporting Section 45 of our Constitution, which is absolutely clear that marriage can only be between two people of opposite sex. And I'm saying this because how do you sustain a country if you have relationships that do not factor in production? Because that is a question we must address. And I'm not being discriminatory here. People have their choices, but you have to look at a future, even of a society, of human beings. Where have we come from? Where are we going? And therefore, for me, marriage must be an institution that has production, that can be seen for what it is. Now, on family planning, it's a management tool from a family side, from an economy side, and it's a balancing tool. If you don't family plan, you might have institutions that cannot cater for what is there in terms of population. Therefore, it is important. And secondly, from a family point of view, you don't want to be in a situation where you can't manage what you have. So it's absolutely clear that it's a management tool. I would support it as a management tool, both from a family point, from an economy point, from a country point.
Abortion, I don't like wrestling with God. Abortion is actually a very bad thing, but necessity dictates exception. If God has brought doctors and they advise, depending on health and other issues, we listen to them. But the mainstream idea is We don't want it. And that is why we have religion in the manifesto. Same-sex marriages, it is, the human rights group should take this, activists should take this. It is the right of my daughter to be married by a man. When the man will be busy with another man, then what happens to my daughter? Yeah? So I'm worried. So it is the right of the woman to get a man, and it is the right of the man to get a woman.
And finally, on family planning?
Family planning, we are forgetting the character God. How many of us have been admitted as we speak? How many of us have been taken to the ICU? How many? God is balancing. Some are dying, some are being born. That is His work. But if for example, my wife will tell me this too is enough because of this reason, fine. If another one will tell me, no, I don't want you to limit it, I want 6, fine. Just read. Yeah.
Thank you, Mwalimu. And for the record, you have 11 children?
Yeah. One has 2. One said, I'm okay with the son and the daughter.
So, but you have a total of 11 children?
Yeah, 11. So, yeah.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, I don't believe in abortion. I believe in the sanctity of life, and therefore I hold the view in our constitution that it must only be acceptable in very, very strict circumstances, which have been defined in our laws. On the issue of same-sex marriages or marriage, for me, marriage is an institution of God, and all creation is a testimony of male and female. It is not any other way, even animals. So I do believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman. And quite frankly, I don't think that in our country today, maybe there will be a time when it will be a real debate. But for today, I think the real issues we should be debating are HIV/AIDS, education for children, food security. I mean, there are much more serious problems facing Kenya and Africa that I wouldn't want us to be diverted by issues of lifestyle that maybe will come in another generation.
What about on family planning?
On family planning, the reality is that it's an economic issue. My dad had 24 children. I have 4 biological children. And we had to take another 3 to help in terms of education. So I think it is a necessity that comes by circumstances of ability to take care of a family. So for me, whether you plan to have 10 or 5, it must be informed by the quality of life you want to give to the children.
Well, during the civic education for the draft constitution, I went around the country and I addressed this issue of abortion. To be able to do so, I delved into the position of different denominations, Catholics, Anglicans, Presbyterian, the others, on this issue, their guidelines. And I satisfied myself that on this issue, the Constitution is actually more restrictive because it requires the opinion of a doctor or a health officer. And it prohibits abortion. So that position, I think, is clear. To my mind, the more pertinent question is why Kenyatta National Hospital has to set aside a whole ward. If we walk there today, you will go to a ward set aside for abortions, which are carried out, started elsewhere, and when the poor woman is about to die, the abortion is completed at Kenyatta. Why are our morals so down? Why do girls get pregnant? Why do young people indulge in sex?
What about same-sex?
Where have we failed?
I'll move you on a little bit. Same-sex relations?
Again, we need to distinguish between compassion and support. Clearly, I don't support it as a Christian. But as Honorable Mother Karua said, what do you do when your son or your daughter comes home and says, I am this way inclined? Does he or she cease to be your son or your daughter? You need to counsel her. That is the time that child needs compassion, needs fatherly love, so as to guide them back. Let us not condemn, let us not treat them as subhumans. Let's have compassion, Christian compassion, so as to guide them to go back if they can, by counseling to the right path. family planning. Again, as a chief executive, you are the president of the whole country. Although the Constitution gives freedom of religion, if you want to belong to this religion or that religion, and to follow the tenets of that particular denomination, you're also permitted to be secular. When you are president of all these people. So let's give them space. Those who wish to belong to a particular denomination that is very strict on the issue of how to carry out family planning, it is their choice, they should be respected. But let us not impose the tenets of a particular religion on others who do not belong to that
Thank you, Mr.
religion.
Mwite.
Daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo.